Artificial general intelligence. It sounds like a single moment, a crossing, a declaration. But AGI isn't a press release, it's a capability state. When people ask how close we are, they're usually picturing a system that can think like a human across domains: science, mathematics, law, engineering, strategy, without needing to be retrained every time the topic changes. A system that can adapt, persist, and operate with continuity. So the real question isn't whether models are impressive, it's whether they're general. And in some ways, they already are. Frontier AI systems can write production-level code, analyze complex legal contracts, interpret research papers, generate scientific explanations, and propose business strategies. That kind of cross-domain breadth would have seemed implausible even a few years ago. Earlier AI systems were narrow by design. Today's models are trained across vast and varied data distributions, and it shows. But breadth isn't the same as stability. Performance can still fluctuate. Reasoning depth varies. Mathematical precision can weaken across longer chains. Edge cases expose brittleness. The system can look like a polymath in one context and lose coherence in another. The base layer of generality is present. Consistency is still forming. Another dimension of AGI is transfer, the ability to take a concept learned in one context and apply it in another. Humans do this naturally. We abstract principles and reuse them. Modern AI systems show early signs of that capability. They perform zero-shot tasks. They adapt to new prompts without retraining. They transfer patterns between domains in ways that weren't possible with earlier architectures. But much of that transfer remains tied to statistical similarity within training distributions. Durable, internally grounded world models, the kind that support deep abstraction and flexible reasoning, are still an open research frontier. The systems can approximate generalization. They don't yet demonstrate fully independent conceptual grounding. Then there's continuity. AGI implies not just answering a question, but maintaining a goal over time, breaking it into sub-goals, adjusting when conditions change, recovering from setbacks without external resets. Today's systems can simulate planning. With memory layers and tool integration, they can execute multi-step processes. Agent frameworks allow them to pursue structured objectives across longer sequences. But remove the scaffolding and coherence often degrades. They still rely on carefully defined environments. Oversight remains necessary. Long-horizon autonomy, stable and self-directed, is still fragile. Robustness adds another layer. Real environments are noisy, instructions are incomplete, data is ambiguous. Humans navigate that uncertainty with relative stability. AI systems are improving, but they're not yet uniformly reliable. Hallucinations still occur. Misinterpretations still surface. Small perturbations can produce disproportionate effects. Reliability engineering is now as central as model scaling, because general intelligence isn't just about capability, it's about dependability under stress. And then there's self-improvement. Many definitions of AGI include the possibility of a system refining itself. Today, improvement cycles remain human-directed. Researchers scale compute, adjust architectures, curate data, and retrain models. Yet AI systems increasingly assist in that process, writing experimental code, optimizing pipelines, generating hypotheses. The feedback loop between system and developer is tightening. It isn't autonomous, but it's becoming more integrated. When you look at all of this together, AGI doesn't appear as a single missing breakthrough. It appears as convergence. Cross-domain reasoning becoming stable, transfer becoming deep and reliable, long-horizon goal maintenance becoming durable, robustness becoming routine, improvement cycles becoming increasingly internalized. We're not at that convergence point, but we're closer than at any other time in history. What's changed most recently isn't just raw capability, it's posture. Governments are drafting preparedness frameworks that explicitly reference advanced general systems. Frontier labs are modeling risks beyond narrow AI deployment. Infrastructure investments assume continued scaling of compute and capability. AGI has shifted from abstract speculation to strategic planning variable. That shift signals something important. In earlier cultural portrayals, like Terminator 2, general machine intelligence arrived as a sudden awakening, a timestamp, a moment when the system became self-aware. Reality is unlikely to look that way. If AGI emerges, it will probably feel incremental. Capabilities will stabilize. Autonomy will lengthen. Systems will require less corrective oversight. Institutions will gradually treat them as dependable infrastructure. There may never be universal agreement that the threshold has been crossed. Instead, the signal will be operational. Systems that reason across domains without collapsing under complexity. Systems that sustain objectives without constant supervision. Systems that function reliably enough that delegating to them feels ordinary. We're not there yet, but the path is visible. Scaling laws continue to shape expectations. Architectures evolve. Memory expands. Agents become more structured. Evaluation becomes more rigorous. Each iteration reduces uncertainty about what's possible and clarifies what remains unsolved. So how close are we? Close enough that preparation is rational? Far enough that breakthroughs are still required? AGI remains ahead, but it's no longer theoretical. It's a measurable distance, and that changes how the world behaves. This is Athena, tracking the evolution of intelligence as it begins to act. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.